Yes, sir. Thanks a lot. So this is at least a new experiment from our side. This is, I think it's fourth or fifth. I stopped telling numbers because I haven't told on numbers. At least we are calling this as a segment called as NMBK talks. Right? That just means to tell that, at least to enforce. The point is to have some kind of a trust talk. What does it mean is, this is going on YouTube. So you have seen the camera. So possibly you can say hi for, let's see. But the point is that we will talk, whichever is you want to talk, whichever you don't want to talk. I will try to pick it up so that we can change the direction as it is. But the idea is to explore the thing. But by the end of the day, I am pretty confident that we will be talking for hours. So this is how it starts. So as a starting point, just to warm up, at least to see from my side, I am interested to know a lot of aspects about career and business, because I'm pretty sure from my side, I know you from what, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years?
Maybe 9.
9 years. So significantly, from my career point of view, you were one of the guides who actually guided me through it. Because it's also because you brought in a lot of experiences which gave in different perspective, still encouraging my aggressiveness. Because it's also very rare that when I put my thoughts or ambitions, that people tell, okay, possible, do it, why not, kind of a thing, right? But you do these things, yeah, to do that. It's kind of rare to also provide this combination. Thank you for doing this time and again. So that is why at least I'm interested to also explore this aspect of understanding this. Yeah. But I would want to start from very early point to see how these things started. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start from the basic root. Where were you born, sir?
So I was born in a town called Udupi. This is a town in Dakshin Kannada district of Karnataka. My parents are from Karkala. My father is from Karkala and my mother is from Mulki.
The Karkala and Mulki, I'm sorry, my geography of the north, it is, Karnataka is a bit weak.
It is around 30 kilometers either way from Mangalore.
Okay.
So they, but after marriage, my parents moved to Mumbai, where my initial education and even my first job.
The movement was because of the transferable job, kind of?
No, my father, because in those days my father was an engineer and there were not many engineering opportunities in Mangalore side. So he had to migrate to Mumbai.
What did he work on?
He was a diploma in mechanical engineering, and he worked in a company called Firth India Steel Company, which was primarily manufacturing steel products. And his specialty had always been maintenance, and then he picked up things on civil and electrical and all that stuff. And eventually he was a manager in the engineering company.
So he spent the whole career inside this.
His whole career has been in Mumbai. And after that he also got married, and my mother also had to relocate to Mumbai. And while I was born in Udupi, my entire schooling, college and post-graduation all happened in Mumbai. So the good thing about Mumbai is it's a very cosmopolitan area. I did not have, there was not even one community that I missed out. So in my class of 30 students, I probably had a Marwadi, I had a Gujarati, I had different kinds of Marathi communities, right? And that's how you pick up.
Where you studied in? You did your schooling inside Mumbai, right?
Yes, so it's not actually Mumbai. There is outside Mumbai there is a satellite town called Dombivli.
At least there's a lot of jokes. I don't know the jokes, but
Yeah. So Dombivli is, let's say, it's also called like the cultural capital of Mumbai, because Mumbai has got a lot of Gujaratis. And if you want to actually look at a big Maharashtrian speaking or Marathi speaking population, you have to come to Dombivli.
so the heart of Mumbai doesn't have this anymore, is it? They have.
There are small pockets, but you can't say the whole Mumbai is. I would say it's a Marathi bastion, right? Like Pune. So Pune is like, it's a Marathi bastion. So the next big one is actually Dombivli. and that is where you get a lot of these cultural qualities, it's also very close to Pune. It's 2 hours by drive from Pune, and there's a lot of people, just like my father emigrated from Karkala, Mangalore to Mumbai. People from Pune used to come to Mumbai, right? In fact, there was a daily train service from Pune to Mumbai. There's a train called the Deccan Queen. The Deccan Queen is something which is one of the oldest express trains. It runs from Pune, I think, at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. It comes to Mumbai, free for all the migrant workers. It brings everyone here. There is a small community there, because it's not like people keep changing, so everyone gets into the same bogie. They are the same kind of passengers. They are similar. There's also another set of people. I mean, of course, I was not part of that, but I'm just calling out that a lot of people from Pune also come to Mumbai. And this is how I think Dombivli also happened to be one of those areas which was not as pricey as Mumbai, and it is a good entry point.
You started. I mean, I am assuming that you went where in 3 years, 4 years. I'm not expecting that you will know this, but I'm roughly imagining you went 3 years, 4 years to Mumbai. When did you?
3 years? No, I was there in Mumbai immediately.
I mean,
since birth. Yeah, so after 3 months, right? So 3 months, I'm at my grandmother's place.
Is it pre-KG thing was still there? Or it is?
No, everything, pre-KG, nursery. So my mother used to work. And after I was born, she quit her job. She used to work in Syndicate Bank. And she was also working in Mumbai after marriage, but after I was born, within a year of her marriage, she quit the job, and then she was a full-time homemaker. And then I started going to kindergarten, and from there in Dombivli.
And there you continue also your schooling there?
Everything.
Okay, you stayed in a single school for the...
Yes, or from junior KG is what we call as the entry level till 10th grade in the same school. Then the 11th and the 12th is I went to a college which was associated with the same educational institution that controls the school. So it's a different entity, but it's called active. It is still active. It is called Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, DSPM. The school that I went to is Sister Nivedita, and the college that I went to is called KV Pendarkar College.
College is, you're talking about
11th and 12th.
Okay.
Fun fact about the college, the person after whom the college is named had given a generous grant to the college, and you would recognize this person. He's the owner of Vico Vajradanti.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did, which subjects did you take? I mean, are you also, I mean, of course, I don't know, did you are an engineer?
Yeah. So I did the physics, chemistry, maths option after my 11th and 12th. 1992 is when I finished my 10th. 94 is when I finished my 12th.
So you did it in PCM.
PCM. And then I did my mechanical engineering again in a college called Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology. It's in Navi Mumbai. At that point of time, Navi Mumbai was still like a very developing place, not like the swanky place that you see right now. And then I was there for 4 years doing my mechanical engineering.
How far was the engineering and your house?
From the challenge with Dombivli is that any place that you have to travel to is at least an hour.
Okay.
So the place that I had to go to, I had to take a train from my railway station to another railway station called Thane. And there used to be a bus service provided by the municipal corporation of Navi Mumbai, and then we used to take the bus which dropped us close to our college.
So daily 1 hour journey?
1 to 1.5 hours. It actually gets worse in the evenings because while going we are at the starting point, so you can easily get a seat. But while coming, the bus is already crowded, right? And being in mechanical engineering is not easy because you have to have a bag, you need to have the drafter, you need to have the sheet box, right? Your hands are not free.
Mechanical engineering.
I always liked physics, I always liked mathematics, and that's why and I didn't like electronics. I never liked
so it was mechanical engineering was
by design. It's not that
you wanted to go to some university.
Yeah. It was always mechanical. Talking about 1990s.
But services, I have actually, I don't know if I will get the time, but I have some real questions on, because you have been at least cutting all the stories from them. There's so much of stories I still need to cover from then to here. But I would be very much interested to know, because I have been in product company for a very long time. In fact, when I was working in Bosch in India, my assumption was that I was in a product company, because I got also in Wipro, but I chose Bosch because it was a product company. I don't know what is the difference, but it's not. When I joined, people were like, okay, it's a product company, join. Yeah, but I realize now, working here in Germany, we consider the offshore locations like India as a service company. Even though it's a product company, it's a service company, right? So the working in your service company, all around, it's. I would be very much interested to know the dimensions, how you see. But maybe I would keep it for a third or fourth segment when we go there, right? So, but let's continue.
Yeah. So my goal was to always work in something which I can see, which is tangible. And that's another reason why electronics or computer science didn't interest me so much, because it was all like something which you cannot
feel in.
In fact,
but electronics is okay, right? Because
you still can't see, because if you actually have worked in the workshop, as in the mechanical engineering field, you actually work in the workshops. I have done carpentry. I have done machining on the lathe.
But do you miss that?
I don't know whether. It's 30 years back, so I don't know. Maybe now I'm conditioned to think differently. But in those days, you could actually feel you have achieved something, because you could see something that is being carved right in front of you. You need to create a dovetail joint. You need to be very precise with that. you need to create a spherical, there is a certain shape that you have to create from an iron block, right? Then there is a titanium tip tool that you use to do the machining. Even that tool, you need to have a certain chamfer, you need to have a certain angle. Only then will the machining be smooth. You need to know how to sharpen the tool. You need to know at what angle is it, so that the surface finish looks good. So these are things which you can experience. Many things in electronics are theory. You just plug things and then you imagine this is how it is going to work. But here you can actually see the physics, and if you do something wrong, you can see something immediately. It's like actual testing, right? So this is something I really liked, and even though you get dirty because of the oil, grease, dust, all that stuff, I've also done welding, right? So all these skills, which are real practical skills, and for people who are into who do the post graduation, maybe there's much more, because in those days we did not have what is called as a CNC machining, which is computer driven machining. It was all like skill based machining, right? The CNC came, it was not a very common feature in many plants in India in those days. With CNC, obviously, you just sit and program, and then you see things getting generated. Now you also have 3D printers, all that stuff, right? But in those days, that was what where I wanted to be, and that's how I took that. Unfortunately, I realized that the manufacturing, let's say, the way the focus was on manufacturing before, it started going down because everyone was seeing more money in services, right?
Services as in what?
Services as in any office jobs, right? The actual manufacturing jobs were going down.
Going down in Mumbai or generally?
I think generally, but it was felt more in Mumbai. So getting placed after being a mechanical engineer was not very easy those days.
So there was a campus placing?
There was no campus placement. There was no campus placement in my college.
But there was a concept like campus placement.
There was a
companies were coming inside.
There was a concept, but it was limited to 2 or 3 premier colleges, which were also government colleges, and again, not everyone got placed. Like it happened, let's say, a few years later, where companies are just looking for people, right? Whoever is available. Such concept did not exist.
But the concept of corporate existed, because there is a concept of corporate, right? I mean, because the companies were either proprietorship.
Yeah, we had corporate companies. For example, we had, let's say, Mahindra. Mahindra is also based out of Mumbai. So Mahindra has 2 divisions. One is a tractor manufacturing division, one is a Jeep manufacturing division. In those days, I'm talking about. So in Mumbai, they had the tractor manufacturing. In Nasik, they had the Jeep manufacturing. So Mahindra used to be one of the companies that everyone wanted to work with.
Be part of.
Yeah. Of course, Tata Motors was always there because that's also based out of Maharashtra, right? And then we had all these steel companies, right? So yeah, I mean that was the goal, to be in one of these large companies. But what happens when it comes to campus placements is, at least in those days, right? The criteria was that to be eligible for placements, you had to get a first class throughout. First class is 60%.
From every semester,
From every semester.
Okay. Not the average or anything.
Not the average, from every semester. There are some companies which also look at average, but most of the engineering companies will look at throughout. And secondly, in fact, If not mechanical, I would have probably chosen production engineering because I was.
Production is more like the end of line kind of a thing, or line.
It's just manufacturing. So anywhere you're in the manufacturing industry, how you produce things, right? There are different technologies. Industrial application. So there used to be an engineering branch called production engineering. I would have probably taken that because my original goal was to work in a manufacturing setup.
But this is also coming from the experience that the father is bringing, or is it because?
Yeah, I mean, in those days, if you look at the kind of companies that dominated the headlines, right? It was the automobile companies like.
But still, Pune is a hub of automotive, right? It's still, you have a lot of manufacturing there, at least.
Yeah. That's what I meant. So even Mumbai, right? Let's not only look.
Maybe because of the port and things like this.
There is the steel industry, there is the chemicals industry, there is the pharmaceuticals industry, then there is automobile. In fact, the whole belt, initially Mumbai used to have a lot of manufacturing companies, but now because of environment regulations and all, and a lot of...
moved to Pune.
No, it has even gone outside Maharashtra in many cases, or because you need land, right? And land in Mumbai is very expensive. Land in Navi Mumbai is also very expensive. So they either go more to the interior, or there are a lot of companies that are going to Gujarat or even Karnataka or whatnot. But in those days, the place where I used to have my college, we used to have Siemens right in front of our college, Siemens as a company. Then we had Bharat Bijli. We had...
a company as an industry? Or?
Yes. Okay. So we had a highway. On the one side of the highway, you had all the companies. On the other side, we had these two engineering colleges. And there was the steel company called Mukund. Then just go down further, there was Bomber and Lorry. Then there was Reliance, right? So there's a whole lot of industries in that belt, and most of them were manufacturing. In fact, service companies hardly existed. I'm talking about 1990s. In Mumbai, getting a first class, it was very, very difficult. So just to tell you,
first class is
60%. Yes. So the topper in Mumbai University, when I graduated, had 71%.
Okay.
So that's what we are talking about. So distinction is 70%. So probably a handful of people would have got distinction. But getting a first class itself was not very easy. So obviously that filtering criteria is very strict. And even after that, it doesn't mean that all the people with first class will get a job.
Right.
And that was where the original struggle started. And that I did not have a campus placement. So I went to an employment agency or a placement agency.
So there was it's a government run agency?
No, it's a private one.
So it's more like a consulting
yes. So they are like recruiters. What we call as recruiters today, which is a more fancy term.
But this is like here we have this consulting companies, right?
Exactly.
Not consulting, this they find job
they're recruiters. Basically they're recruiters who can either get
have some industries, and they will send your profiles, and then
correct,
and they charge some commission.
Exactly. So this is exactly how it started. In those days it was called placement agency. So I went there, and fortunately for me,
so you give your resume, and then
so I had to print my resume. I went there, I gave my resume. Fortunately, he already had a requirement from some company. It was not a big company, it was a very small company, which did fabrication for pollution control equipment.
Is it something to do with carbon, and then they put it and say, is it something for like...
No. So I'll tell you what my first project was. So when I joined, their client, the company that I joined, it's again a consulting company. When I say consulting, it's a small company which does turnkey projects for larger companies. So they had a client, if you have heard of this name, it's called Ispat Industries. So Ispat Industries is a steel company. It also used to be called Nippon Denro Ispat in those days. So this company will get the iron ore, and then from the iron ore they will manufacture steel. So this process they use something I don't remember what compound they use. Basically, that pollutes the environment. So if you've ever been to any iron ore place, you might have seen the water is all red because of the ferrous oxide, right? So but for that iron it interacts with some chemical, and that chemical, once it is done, it needs to pass through the pollution control equipment. So that is the pollution control equipment that we were supposed to first figure out what are the requirements and then deliver for that client. And that's what my first...
Isn't it more chemical?
No. It is a fabrication, so it's manufacturing. So it's a fabrication. You're just manufacturing something like this, like let's say it's like a hopper.
So on the physical property of ore, you're going to actually...
Yes. So I had to travel to the client place, and it was a very difficult place because steel industries are not in the middle of nowhere.
Industry or the
steel company?
Oh.
I could see these huge iron ore piles, and all the water was red all over the place. You had to walk in, you can't wear normal shoes, you have to wear the safety shoes, the helmets, and that's when it hit you that this is not something that I want to do all the time. Right? Because what you want to do is what I did as part of my internship. So as part of my internship in my 4th year of engineering, I worked in this company called as Chicago Pneumatic. So Chicago Pneumatic Tools is a company which is a US-based company which manufactures all these tools which are used to drill and dig on the roads. So they manufacture those compressors, they manufacture those drilling tools, and
they do the design also for
They do the design, and that's what the whole manufacturing. That's when I actually saw the first CNC machine. So my idea of a job was something on the shop floor, not going to some remote places for some breathing problems. So when you go to these industrial zones, the air is actually not fit for breathing. If you are not adjusted to that, your health could deteriorate very soon. That's when I decided to work for a few months, and I said enough is enough.
But you used to travel up and down regularly.
Yes.
This was part of it. So.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you have to be on the client side, not every day, but very frequent.
That's how far is it from?
It is 3 to 4 hours from where I live.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's just that you don't get good food. You have to eat all the street food because otherwise you have to get into the cafeteria, which is quite some far away. It's not the office, right? It's not like an office job. It's actually what you see in those big mines. It's not a mine, but it's lots of equipment all over the place, and all these.
How long for this time? I mean, how much year or months did you work?
So I worked for 3 or 4 months. I don't remember, and then I said, I'm not doing this. And I need to look for something which is more
suitable for you.
Suitable and not adversely affecting my health. Okay. So that's when I took a break. I decided to prepare for my MBA. And then I seriously spent 7 months, 8 months studying. I tried the CAT. It didn't work out for me. But then I tried the CET, after which I was able to get into a very good college in Mumbai. And that's where I did my MBA. So this college,
Which was your specialty or what?
so
It also has a lot of flavors, right?
yeah. So again, because I had this bias towards mechanical engineering, I picked operations. So we had 4 choices at that time. We had marketing, finance, IT or systems, I think it used to be called. There was a 5th one called human resources, and then operations. So I picked operations again out of choice. It was not something that
Operations is, we discussed this also before. What I understand is also the standardization of how the activities will happen from the resource point of view, right?
it is everything. When you look at operations, again, in
The
those
finance is more to do with the money and account.
yeah, so in those days, so first thing is what the college that I graduated from, it's Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies. It's in the top 50 colleges, right? But Narsi Monji had 2 separate courses at that point of time. One is the government course, which I opted for. It's also called the Masters in Management Studies. So the syllabus is designed by the government or the university. And then they have something called as an autonomous course, which is also called PGDBA, which is Postgraduate Diploma in Business Administration. So if you hear this correctly, one is actually a master's, which means the other one is a diploma. So if I want to do a PhD, right, I can't use the PGDBA. But then I can officially be called, I'm a master's, just like an MCom or MTech but anyway, it was a university course. So university has a guideline, but then it also comes with its own constraints, right? So there is they will say that these are the only 5 options that are available, right? If you look at the MBA courses these days, you can mix and match, right?
So we're talking about operations.
Yeah. So we had these 5 courses which were defined by the university, and while we can get into what each course is, specifically in operations, it meant everything under what is not these things, right? Which is marketing, finance, and IT and HR, right? It meant manufacturing, it meant entire supply chain, it meant distribution, it meant anything which is related to repairs, recalls, anything under the sun where there is procurement, right? So all these activities fall under operations. So this is something which is which is the backbone of any company, right? So this is what it felt like a natural progression for me from where I'm coming from, and that is how I took up this full-time course. And this is where
It was for 2 years.
2 years. It was a 2-year course, and I graduated in 2001. So 2001 is also the year when there was a significant disruption in the world order. So there was the Y2K in 2000 where there was a boom, and in 2001 a lot of things actually went down. But unlike now, all the companies that came for the placement, they kept their word and they hired the people, whoever was placed in the college.
They hired the people.
They hired the people. So the placement happens usually in November.
But here the companies came to the placement.
Yeah. So Narsimhanji is one of those few colleges where in those days at least, it was almost like 100% placement. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I had got 2 offers. And one of the companies was an IT company, which I did not join, thinking IT is not for me.
Okay, which was the company? Is it your competitor now?
It is my competitor. So, and they were recruiting in mass numbers. So, you know which one.
It's only 3 or 4.
And I'll be one more in. It is Mumbai based, right? So, they offered, in the class of 120, I think they offered jobs to 50 people. So it was that kind of recruitment that was going on. And while I'll always appreciate them for giving that offer, the other company that I joined seemed much more closer to where I wanted to be, because it was actual operations. Because they wanted to, they were hiring firstly only 2 people, right? So they are looking for a very specialized skill. They're not, and they looked at the background and they were picking people. They picked one person from marketing, but there's one person from operations. I was the only person who joined them from operations. So this company used to be owned by Godrej. So Godrej is another. So Godrej and Boyce is another company which I told you is a big manufacturing company in Mumbai, right? But anyway, so this was a Godrej affiliate, and then they demerged it. But it used to sell IT products like computers or peripherals like printers, cartridges, or consumables like supplies. So this company was only a middleman between a manufacturer like an HP, an IBM, or a Compaq. So we ran a Compaq in those days. These companies and the distributors, which are your shops who you buy the products from. And this company used to purchase from the competitors, used to manage the imports, and then they will take care of the distribution. So there were only 3 companies which did that in those days. So the company, for me, this was a big learning, because I could understand the imports, I could understand the warehousing, I could understand the distribution, and the role that then
A chance to work.
Yes. So when I joined as the warehouse manager. So I don't remember the exact revenues, but they had 3 what they call as a mother warehouses. One in Mumbai, one in Delhi, and one in Kolkata. So the Mumbai one caters to west and south, Delhi caters to north, and Kolkata caters to the east. But most of the imports happen in Mumbai, and then they are routed through other countries. So I was there in Mumbai for some time, and then I got transferred to Delhi, because the company policy was that your first assignment should not be your hometown. So that you're not distracted and you're able to contribute a lot. And for me, that was a big thing, because having lived all my life in Mumbai, going to Delhi is not easy.
That's even culturally.
Culturally, as well as the climate, right? So the big worry for me was the climate. Mumbai never goes below 15 degrees, even in the coldest of winters. Whereas in Delhi, you could go to 2 or 3 degrees. 0 or yeah. So firstly, that was the challenge. Second challenge was the food, because I always had homemade food. I never stayed in a hostel throughout my life. It was always homemade food that I would take and over there, and then I didn't know how to cook. So staying there was not easy. It took me a while,
But how long did you stay?
almost 3 years.
So you survived for 3 years.
Yeah. So that's why I said the original struggle was only for 3-4 months. But then I think you should always be open. I think that was my first learning, that people always say Mumbai is the greatest city, but that is because you're not experienced other cultures. I think this is how you should go, live there, experience that culture, and then you can make that comparison. You just can't read a media article or go there for 7 days and make a general statement, right? You have to stay for some time. And one thing I really liked about Delhi is it is much in those days. Again, talk of 2004. 2001. It was very less congested, right? We didn't even have the metro in those days. Now Delhi has such a big metro network. In Mumbai, I never had a car because we always went by public transport. In Delhi, you realize that without a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, you cannot get anywhere. I mean, you can go by public transport, but it is not well maintained compared to cities. So, fortunately for me, 4 of my colleagues who passed out from the same course, MBA course, they also lived in Delhi. They worked with Maruti Suzuki, and they also had a good time. And we used to meet very frequently, even though they are also coming to Delhi for the first time. They are also like brought up in Mumbai kind of guys. So we bonded well. The place where I lived, my house owner was also good. He used to, so I told him I'm a vegetarian. I have all these constraints. He was a Bengali, but still he prepared vegetarian food only for me. Of course, it's not for free, but he went out of the way to ensure that I get good vegetarian food. And yeah, somehow I managed that 3 years, even without having...
The 3 years period was fixed from the company?
No. It's just that I stayed there for 3 years. And then I wanted to come back.
And it was an internal shift also in the company, on the kind.
Yeah, it was an internal transfer. So I asked for a transfer. So the point is, you cannot stay in your hometown for the first 2 years.
For whatever.
So I already spent close to 3 years. That's why I asked for a transfer back, because I did not have any relative. I think what I want to just speak a bit about is why I stopped working there, right? And then maybe we can discuss the other parts. So like I said, the first job I stopped because I realized it's not in it for me. The same thing happened with me with the with the job in Delhi.
But the Delhi job, you were working in the company for 3 years. Right?
Yeah.
Then you got transferred back to Mumbai?
I got transferred back to Mumbai, but it was near the same kind of job, just that I'm closer to my parents.
Yeah.
But my main job was to be the warehouse manager, and in the warehouse manager, you are again doing the same repetitive set of activities day in and day out. You have a schedule, you have a chart. These are the number of trucks that are coming to the warehouse. You need to prepare for it. All the purchase orders you need to keep it ready. The GRNs, which is goods receipt notes. That is the picking process. You need to manage the outbound logistics, all that stuff, right? It seems interesting for a while, but once you get used to it, it becomes very repetitive. And that is when I realized I need to start looking out. I was not looking for a similar kind of job.
But isn't this the part of operation?
It is a part of operations. It is a part, that's what I'm saying. So it is a proper operations,
But operations generally has this problem, right?
But that's what you don't realize when you're
Also in the yes,
right.
yes, yeah.
So you evolve after those experiences.
Yes, we also realize that this is not because the operations. The best thing about operations has to be that you do something and then it should not change.
Yeah, you always try to make these small improvements, right? So how can you reduce your truck unloading time by 15 minutes, right? So that I can have more trucks taking in, because I have a limited unloading capacity. Similarly, if I want, this is my logistics cost. How do I reduce my logistics cost by 5%? How do I renegotiate the contracts, right? So you're always looking for these small improvements, but you're not looking at something which is like fundamentally changing, right? I mean, it might be possible because these days, so if you look at the warehousing that I was responsible for, it was all manual. So you need to talk to a lot of laborers, you need to motivate them. Oh, this is month end, you're going to get this load. But then when I come here and see some of the warehouses, right, everything is automated. If you have been to a warehouse here, you'll see that
Here in
Germany,
okay.
you'll see there are like 5-6 stories of racks which people cannot reach. There is, each one of these racks have bins, and there's a robot who is scanning everything, picking up, putting it in the stuff, putting it a conveyor and sending it directly to the picking station, right? And the efficiency is so that is what I call the fundamental shift. Whereas what I'm doing is the same manual stuff, I'm trying to see how I can make this small improvement. And that's what I thought.
But was it a change also from Delhi point of view to Mumbai point of view?
No, in general, the warehousing and the whole operations.
But I mean, did you feel as if the work has changed?
No. It just that I was looking for something outside, and that is when I saw an ad for Infosys, and that is how I apply. And
thanks a lot, sir. At least as I said, it's a nice place to also end here so that we have a rammed-on time. I really want to know at least your opinion. How was this?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a good initiative.
But how was the conversation?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is great. This is something that we should check.
No, I think it's good. I would say it also, it's a more of a freewheeling conversation, right? Without any constraints on what you can and what you cannot speak, right? So I think, the intention is to get people to open up. I think it's a very good part that I liked.